This is the biggest mistake I see new entrepreneurs do when they're trying to sell their product. And stick with me because after we talk about it, I'll also share how you can avoid it. But the number one mistake that they make is they want to talk about their product. Now you're like, Shane, how do I sell if I don't talk about the product? Right? Well, of course, you are going to talk about your product, but not yet. You see, the person across from you, whether it's in person, on a Zoom call, in a webinar, or even simply reading your sales page or watching a YouTube video, if you lead with your product and how great it is and how it can serve them, make their life better, make their business stronger, whatever it may be, if you lead with that, it's going to trigger something. You see, we have this culture, especially in this country, we have this culture of being very defensive because we don't like to be sold to. We have had, oh, sure, we've had many good sales experiences, but we really remember the bad sales experiences. So by default, when someone comes in trying to sell something, we start in a very defensive nature. And if they're in front of them, you will see them lean back, cross their arms, and look disengaged. And if they look engaged, they will probably only be engaged because they want to hear you say something so that you slip up and they don't get tricked, right? So that's where we're starting. If you lead with how great your product is, they are going to start in a very defensive state. Now, why do we as entrepreneurs want to talk? Well, it sounds natural. Number one, we want to talk about our product because that's what we're here for, right? We agreed to this meeting, virtual or in person, so we could tell you about what I do or what my product will do for you. So, shouldn't I just start with that? Well, maybe. And another reason is, well, gee, I've had those bad experiences and it's almost more like an infomercial, like the sham wow, it slices, it dices, it does all this, this is my product, it's the best in the land, and you're a fool if you don't buy it, is the mentality and the vibe that we in those bad experiences have gotten. So yes, that is why they don't like it, and it's why we as untrained and experienced salespeople or trained in the wrong type of salespeople, that's why we want to start with that, and we shouldn't. So what do we do instead? How do I make sure that the person across from me is not going to be so defensive, right? Because we, as an entrepreneur, really know that our product is going to help them. It's going to make their life better. It's going to make their business stronger. Whatever it is, we truly believe in it. I sure hope you believe in your own product because you shouldn't be in business if you don't. So, if we believe in it, we can be authentic and genuine, but that's still not enough. When we start the full conversation that we have with this person in front of us, we should really be flipping the script. A traditional sales script, one might think in their head, is that, well, the first half, after we break the ice, the first half of the meeting is I'm going to have this presentation. I'm going to demonstrate the widget. I'm going to have a PowerPoint slide. I'm going to have this software demo, whatever it may be. I'm going to display everything about my product that I can. And then later, once I've really given them a run through of how great this product is and how it will benefit them, then I can ask them if they have any questions. And boy, let me tell you, through experience doing it the wrong way, they will have questions. Number one question after you spent maybe a half hour, half the meeting that you have with them, their first question is going to be what? How much is this going to cost? Right, Shane? This sounds like, well, you said it's the best thing in the world. It's out of this world. It's better than anything out there on the market. So I know it's going to be costing a lot, and that's what they're going to hit you up with first. And there's nothing wrong with that, But there's a lot of great reasons to not want to address that right now, but that's still not the issue. They're going to have other questions because they're very skeptical of what's going on. They still haven't heard anything but you boasting and bragging. And there goes back into that nice guy entrepreneur. Again, check out our other videos, especially be the most interested, not the most interesting. But if we lead with us, we're boasting and bragging. It doesn't feel good to us as a nice guy entrepreneur, and it doesn't come across as good for them because we're cocky, right? We don't want that. So if we flip the script, let's start with questions and let's talk about our product on the back end of the conversation. If we have an hour with somebody, let's wait a half hour before we even talk about our product. So what do we lead with when we flip the script? If we're not going to be talking about our product first, but instead put that on the back end, what do we bring forward? We bring forward questions. We want to learn about them. We want them to learn about them, and that'll make more sense if you follow for future videos in the series. But we're going to start with questions. We're going to put them at ease. They're not going to feel sold to because we are genuinely there to learn about them. And when you know about the nice guy process of sales, the questions are going to allow them to learn about their own selves. So that's the idea of flipping the script. So when you finally maybe get an informal coffee appointment with somebody and they agreed to meet you over a cup of coffee at the cafe, sit down, make some pleasantries, but then ask them, hey, is it okay if I ask you some questions before I tell you a little bit about me and myself and my business? Great. Okay, wonderful. And then you start with questions. And when you lead with questions, it's easier on you. It puts them at ease and it makes them feel, okay, he or she is not here to be one of those salesy types. I know we're here to go through this exchange of information. Maybe I will buy something from him or her, but at least he's not starting off with being salesy, right? So we're going to flip the script. Now, continue to watch the series. I have other things about the power of questions, what type of questions. So follow along. If you haven't already done that, please like and subscribe, and you'll see these videos as they come out. But also comment down below. What are you selling? What is your business idea? I'd love to be able to help you maybe design a little script and flip that for you to give you a better idea how it works. So remember that nice guys finish and outlast.